Here's a magic trick using nothing but arithmetic. A trend can be true in every subgroup of your data, then reverse completely the moment you combine them. That's Simpson's paradox. And once you've seen it, you'll never fully trust an overall average. It isn't fraud, it isn't a glitch. It's arithmetic being technically honest while completely misleading you. Let's say Feynman and you are classmates, and Feynman gets 90 in all subjects, and you get 100 in physics, 100 in math, and 50 in language. Then you both asked someone strange to tell you who is good at math by showing only your average. What he'll say is clear, but wrong. This analogy will show you the simplest version of Simpson's paradox. Let's dive more. Take UC Berkeley, 1973. Grad school admissions showed men getting in at a noticeably higher rate than women, a gap big enough to trigger a lost case looked closed. Then a statistician actually opened the department-by-department numbers. Individually, most departments showed no bias against women. Several faced the gap hadn't shrunk under closer inspection. It had flipped. Here's why. Women were applying, in bulk, to the brutally competitive departments, the ones rejecting almost every. Men leaned toward departments accepting most people who showed up. Blend 6 departments running 6 different odds into one ad, and that number stops describing any real applicant. It's describing a category error wearing a lap. The culprit, department choice, is what statisticians call a confounding variable. It quietly shapes both who applies and who gets in, and it stays invisible until someone splits the data along the right line. Mathematically, it's a weighted average problem. Combine 2 ratios built on very different sample sizes, and the total can land far from the 2 values either group occupied alone. Add a third factor, slicing your data unevenly, department, hospital, calendar year, and a perfectly honest number starts lying without saying one false. Karl Pearson spotted the effect in 1899. Udny Yule described it again in 1903. Neither got naming rights. Edward Simpson finally wrote the formal version up in 1951 and still didn't name it after himself. That credit went to Colin Blyth in 1970, who apparently saw no irony in naming someone else's paradox. This isn't trivia for statisticians. Aggregated numbers get used to approve drugs, fund university departments, and decide who gets sued for discrimination. Before trusting a single headline statistic, ask what categories it's been averaged across, and whether one of them is secretly doing all the driving. If a trend reverses the moment you slice the data differently, you haven't found a fluke. You found the actual story that the average was built to hide. This has been Simpson's Paradox in 100. Hit the like button if you want to see more short videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next 100.